these are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Bruce via Wiser Now. Bruce says, so today we have heard that there was an in-country rate on the dinar a little over $3. That's in-country for Iraq. But our rate is going to be, remember what Dr. Shabibi maybe said back in December of 2012 at the International Chamber of Commerce meeting. Blue Star asked him what he thought the rate on the dinar would be. To the dollar, Dr. Shabibi said that it would be over 16. Well, we're over that. We should be in good shape in terms of what they offer us. Do not be surprised, though. Make sure you're sitting down when you get offered a quote, unquote contract rate on the dinar. I know it's going to be very amazing, and I've heard these rates before, and I've been keeping up with them. It's gonna blow your mind. Militiaman and Mark Z via PDK. Excuse me, I might be coming down with a bit of a cold if I sound a little not like myself. Let's see. Militiaman says economic experts in Iraq are talking about using a basket of currencies. They're talking using other currencies and for the dinar to complete with the value of the dollar. Mark Z says when you said Iraq plans to compete with the US dollar, they cannot compete with the USD at $1 buying 1310 dinar. Militiaman says I read that the basket of currencies with the euro, the Chinese yen, the UAE dirham will be used to value the Iraqi dinar in the way that competes with the US dollar. That is the quote. Mark Z says that is telling. Frank 26 Iraq boots on the ground report Firefly. Frank says Firefly television showing Sadani in Davos. He is sitting right next to JP Morgan. A representative on the news showing they are ready to open 3 more branches here in Iraq with private Iraqi banks. Frank says JP Morgan knows what's going on. They know that a new exchange rate is coming. Employees of Chase don't know anything, but the chief executive officer of Chase, Diamond, obviously does know and is making an amazing statement in these articles. Mark Z via PDK says they are calling to no longer have a fixed rate, but attaching it to a basket so its value can compete with the USD. You know they have been working on de-dollarization. $1 buys 1,300 dinar for right now. For it to compete with the US dollar, the rate needs to be a whole lot closer. I know things have been moving slowly. I think we're about to see suddenly part of this thing. Samson article quote number 1, JP Morgan plans to open accounts for 3 Iraqi banks. Article number 2, Al Sadani discusses trading in digital currencies with JP Morgan Bank. All right, Claire has an article quote, JP Morgan Bank announces its readiness to open accounts for 3 private Iraqi banks. Quote, JP Morgan regional CEO for the Middle East and North Africa, Khalid Hubala, announced the bank's readiness to enhance cooperation with Iraq and open accounts for 3 private Iraqi banks. Militiaman says the delegation of the Zeros project off the exchange rate. Alak has done it. Saleh has come out and done it in the last 2 days. It's fresh. It's important. We all know the WTO is about trade. If anybody thinks they were going to do this at 1310, show me why. Because they could have that at a year ago at 1450. They didn't. Pimpy says, let me make this perfectly clear. The deletion of the zeros has nothing to do with the exchange rate. They're talking specifically about the banknote. Sandy Ingram says, so far the conflicts in the Middle East have not affected the Iraqi dinar exchange rate. Iraq continues to increase its GDP and create more streams of income outside of the oil industry. These are the recommendations of the IMF to create economic stability. Nader from the Mideast says the export of oil is going to go up. Tourism go back to normal. A lot of things will go back, but nobody knows that. I see a lot of negative things. Everybody is talking BS. They are going to have to revalue it, the dinar. Mark Z via PDK says we have articles that say their ascension to the WTO was approved back in February of 2023. At this point, I believe they're just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. My contracting sources in Iraq say the valuation has been determined and we are just waiting on the release, and I think that is very accurate. Frank 26 article quote, JP Morgan Bank announces its readiness to open accounts for 3 private Iraqi banks. Frank says, hey Chase, bank manager, read 'em and weep, I told you so. Militiaman says the fun part is we are watching history in the making. Saudi Arabia strongly supports Iraq's ascension to the World Trade Organization. They've basically said Iraq has completed everything needed to be done. Everything is just shy of announcing they have a WTO ascension. All right, Pimpy says, I'm not 100% the good news guru. Sorry, I'm grounded. I'm just going to tell you the truth, guru, good, bad, or ugly. I'm hated in the Dinar community. Pimpy says, I was given the bad body of Dinar community label, which is kind of funny because you would think I would be the good boy because I'm being honest. But it doesn't bother me. This is about what we need to accomplish, what direction we're going into, how much we have accomplished, and how close it is to reality. Mark Z via PDK article quote, Iraq and the IMF are discussing cooperation and start meeting soon to support a reform program, unquote. Mark Z says they would not be having these meetings on Iraq on the world stage unless they were ascending to the WTO and about to have a valuation change. That is certainly what we're hearing from contractors and government officials inside Iraq. We just don't know the exact time, but know they are prepared. And they told us via an article that they are getting ready to peg their currency to a basket of currencies from the region to increase the value of the dinar to compete with the US dollar. Frank 26 says, in my opinion, those of you that deal in commodities, you saw 168 on the 15th. Today you saw 304 on the commodity trades with the Iraqi dinar. You saw it being done in Iraqi dinars, no other foreign currency. Based on what we're seeing, they are agreeing to the future rate of the Iraqi dinar in commodities in dinars. These are contracts to buy or sell a specific quantity of a physical commodity at a specific price on a particular date. Basically, what you saw, in my opinion, are futures. All right, and lastly, Bruce via Wiser Now, the dong is also going to be at a really good rate, way higher than what we thought in the old days, way higher, and where they do not have a contract rate on the dong, never have, we understand, and they will offer us a very substantial higher rate.